The story takes place during a time when the Israelites were at war with the Philistines, a neighboring enemy. The two armies were positioned on opposite sides of a valley, and for 40 days, the Philistine army sent out their champion, a giant named Goliath, to challenge the Israelites to send out their own warrior for single combat. Goliath was a fearsome figure. He was over 9 feet tall, heavily armored, and wielded a massive spear and sword. His challenge was simple. Rather than engage in a large-scale battle, he proposed that one warrior from each side fight to the death, with the winner determining the outcome of the war. But no Israelite soldier dared to face him. His size and strength intimidated everyone. David was a young shepherd boy, the youngest of 8 sons of a man named Jesse, living in Bethlehem. He was not a soldier but was sent by his father to the battlefield to bring food and supplies to his older brothers, who were serving in King Saul's army. When David arrived and heard Goliath's challenge, he was both outraged and astonished. He couldn't understand why no one was willing to fight the giant, especially when he knew that the Israelites had the God of Israel on their side. David volunteered to fight Goliath, despite his youth and inexperience in battle. His brothers were skeptical, and even King Saul, who was initially reluctant, tried to discourage him. Saul offered David his own armor, but it was too heavy and cumbersome for the young shepherd, so David chose to face Goliath in his own way, without armor. David selected 5 smooth stones from a stream and armed himself with only a sling and a staff. Goliath, seeing the boy approach, mocked him, asking if he was sending a child to fight him. But David was resolute. He declared that while Goliath came with sword and spear, he came in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, and that Goliath would be defeated not by human strength, but by divine power. As Goliath advanced toward him, David ran toward the giant, took one of his stones, placed it in his sling, and hurled it with incredible accuracy. The stone struck Goliath in the forehead with such force that it sank deep into his skull. The giant fell to the ground, dead. David then ran to Goliath's fallen body, took the giant's sword, and used it to decapitate him, securing his victory. The Philistine army, seeing their champion defeated, fled in fear, and the Israelites pursued them, winning the battle. David's victory over Goliath became legendary. He was celebrated as a hero, and his faith and courage in the face of overwhelming odds were seen as a testimony to God's power. Eventually, David would rise to become the king of Israel, uniting the tribes and establishing a strong kingdom. The story of David and Goliath is often interpreted as a symbol of how faith, courage, and determination can help individuals overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. It also highlights the idea that true strength does not come from outward appearances or weapons, but from a steadfast belief in God's guidance. The core lesson of the story is that even the smallest and weakest among us can triumph over great adversity if they have faith and trust in something greater than themselves. David's victory teaches that victory is not determined by size or strength, but by resolve, courage, and belief.